I want to start with the moment a lot of people have had, even if they don't talk about it out loud. Close your eyes and imagine. It's a Monday morning, your alarm goes off, you are tired. You go through the routine coffee, commute, desk, emails, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, a thought crosses your mind. Is it? Is, is this what the next 40 years looks like? Most people push that thought away because the alternative feels scary, uncertain, and risky. But here is what nobody tells you: that feeling you push it away, that was your brain doing a risk calculation, and it came up with an answer that made you uncomfortable. The question is whether we are doing the calculation honestly, or whether we have been trained to only see the risk in one direction. Because here is the thing: when we talk about financial risk, we almost always talk about the risk of doing something different, starting a business, investing, freelancing. Those feel risky, but we almost never talk about the risk of staying exactly where we are. And that's what today is about. Let's start with how we actually perceive risk, because there is a fascinating psychological concept called loss aversion, studied by the psychologists Kahneman and Tversky, and it basically says that a human feels the pain of losing something roughly twice as intensely as the pleasure of gaining the same thing. So, if someone says you might lose 500 euros versus you might gain 500 euros, the loss feels more real, more frightening, even if the numbers are actually identical. And that's exactly what's happening when we compare a 9 to 5 to alternatives. Leaving a stable job feels like a loss. You are giving up something you already have, so your brain screams, danger. But staying in a job that limits your income, your growth, and your freedom over 10 or 20 years, that doesn't feel like a loss because you never had the future version of yourself yet. So it barely registers as a risk at all. We are not calculating risk rationally, we are calculating it emotionally. And that means we are systematically underestimating the cost of staying still. Now let's get more concrete, because illusion of security can sound a bit abstract. Let's look at what a salaried job actually gives you and what it silently takes away. What it gives you is this: a predictable number in your bank account every month. That's actually real, that's not nothing. Predictability has a genuine value, especially when you have rent, bills, and maybe a family. But here is what the salary model quietly costs you. And most people never do this calculation. First, your income has a ceiling. Your boss decides what you're worth, not the market. If you do extraordinary work, you might get 3% or maybe 5% more at review time. Meanwhile, someone with the same skills who went independent or built something might have multiplied their income several times over the past period. Second, you have one client. That's it. One company. One decision maker who can let you go tomorrow. not because you did anything wrong, but because the market shifted, the company restructured, or a new manager came in. You call that security, but financially, having one income source is one of the most fragile positions you can be in. One of the most fragile positions you can be in. Third, and this is one third, and this one is subtle. You are trading time for money at a fixed rate forever. The relationship doesn't scale. The harder you work, the more value you create, the more the company benefits. Your salary stays roughly the same. And here is the third angle, and I think this is the one that hits hardest if you really sit with it. Security is not just financial, it's also about your skills, your adaptability, your ability to generate income on your own. Let's call it your personal leverage. When you are in a 9 to 5 for a long time, especially a comfortable one, something very quiet happens. You slowly become specialized for that specific environment. You know the internal tools, the processes, the culture that's valuable inside the company, but outside, sometimes not that much. Meanwhile, someone who has been freelancing, building, experimenting, even failing for the same number of years has developed something different. The ability to adapt, to sell themselves, to create value in multiple contexts. That is a different kind of security, and it's one that nobody can take away from you because it lives inside you, not inside the company's organization charts. I'm not saying one patch is better for everyone. What I'm saying is, most people never even do this comparison. They just absorb the idea that one is safe and the other is risky without ever questioning the definition of safety itself. So, is a 9 to 5 really the safe option? Here is my honest answer. It depends. It depends entirely on what you mean by self. If safety means a predictable paycheck every month, then yes, a salaried job delivers that. And for a lot of people in a lot of situations, that matters enormously. I'm not dismissing that. But if safety means resilience, the ability to survive and adapt no matter what changes around you, then a 9 to 5, especially one we have been in for years without building anything on the side, may actually be the riskier bet. The world is actually changing faster than ever. Industries that looks completely stable 5 years ago are being disrupted. AI is reshaping entire job categories. Companies restructure without warning. So, the idea that you can hand your financial future to one organization and trust that it will be there indefinitely, mm, that's not security, that's actually hope. In my opinion, real security looks like this: having multiple ways to generate income, having skills that travels with you, having some assets that works even when you don't. Having a 9 to 5 can absolutely be part of that, but it should not be the whole picture. And for most people, it is. So the question isn't, should I quit my job tomorrow? The question is, am I building something alongside it? Or am I just waiting for the company to take care of me? I want to leave you with one thing to actually do this week. Not a huge life decision, just one honest question to ask yourself. If your job disappears tomorrow, not by choice, just gone, how long would you genuinely be fine? Not I would find something eventually. I mean, do you have skills that are in demand outside your current company? Do you have savings? Any other income streams, even a small one? Any asset that generates something without you showing up? The answer is your real security number, not your salary, not your job title. What's left when the company is removed from that equation? And if that answer make you uncomfortable, good. The discomfort is information, so use it. That's it for today. If this hit something for you, share it with someone who needs to hear that. I will see you in the next one.